Streaming on clickorlando.com. You're watching News 6 at 10.
Yeah, I would have probably done a little more damage.
Now on News 6, angry reaction to a mugshot and the story behind it. A child choked at a bus stop by a stranger, how a witness rushed to the boy's aid. Now at 10, a trainer hired to care for a horse arrested for punching and kicking it instead. The excuse deputies say he made on social media and how the horse is doing.
Emotionally, I think that's a hole that's never going to be filled. I think the world is a worse place without Rebecca in it.
Grief spreads as patients learn a mental health counselor was stabbed to death on the job. What we know about the man who's accused of killing her. And a CSI investigation in Orlando brings in teams from the Gulf Coast. What neighbors say about the sudden search at the same place where a missing woman was last seen alive. But we start at 10 tonight with an upset for parents and an entire city. A painful decision, now final.
It's the heart and soul of Cape Canaveral. This decision that was just made is final, and once you close a school, you can't bring it back.
Cape Canaveral is about to be the largest local city without a single school to call its own. What that means for hundreds of elementary students. That vote tonight by Brevard County School Board was unanimous, but it doesn't mean it wasn't a hard decision. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Matt Austin. Ginger has the night off. Well, for months we've told you about the fight to try to save Cape View Elementary, but the board says it's just a dollars and cents decision. Too few students go compared to the high cost of keeping that campus. It's been there since the 60s. News 6's Troy Campbell was inside the meeting. He has reaction from parents.
Yeah, we were inside the board meeting as parents addressed members, urging them to reconsider. However, they ended up voting unanimously to close Cape View Elementary.
Ms. Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. Susan?
Aye.
Ms. Wright?
Aye.
The Brevard Public School Board voting Tuesday night to close the only school in Cape Canaveral, Cape View Elementary.
It's the heart and soul of Cape Canaveral.
Cassidy Wellthor says her son is in the 4th grade at Cape View and says she's concerned how he will transition to a new school.
I'm just worried about how my son's going to adapt to the change because my son doesn't do change really well. He's very emotional.
Nobody wants to close a school ever.
Board Chair Matt Susan says it isn't feasible to operate the school at less than 50% capacity, following a decline in enrollment over the past decade.
This is a very tough decision. For anybody to look at this board or look at this district or look at anybody part of this process and say that this is not heavy on us, I will tell you they are wrong.
The district says the reason for the decline in enrollment is an aging population and an increase in short-term rentals. The nearly 300 students will now transfer to Roosevelt Elementary, about 7 miles away.
I look at this and, you want to govern with your heart because my heart hurts when I look at a parent who's upset, right?
Board member Megan Wright says the district is overpaying to keep the school open.
We are looking at spending 2 times as much on students in one school than we are in another school. You have to go, where is that? Why? That's not fair.
This decision that was just made is final, and once you close a school, you can't bring it back.
Parent Katie Laddig says despite their failed efforts, she's proud Cape Canaveral came together to try to keep the school open.
And the mayor has been with us the whole time, and it just made us love this community that much more. And we're so sad that they're going to take a major pillar out of the community, and it's just devastating.
And with the vote, Cape View Elementary is set to close at the end of this school year. And as of now, district officials have not said what they plan to do with that facility. In Brevard County, Troy Campbell, News 6.
And Brevard is not the only local county considering school closings. Last week, Orange County started holding meetings with parents of some 7 schools on the chopping block, 6 elementary schools and Union Park Middle. Like Brevard, the problem is a drop in enrollment, in part due to school choice. No final vote is set just yet. Another big story is, of course, the weather. Still chilly, but there are no more freeze warnings in the forecast, at least for now. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, this is a welcome warm-up.
Yeah, I think so. It's still, right, you mentioned chilly. It's seasonably chilly, though.
Yeah.
We're going to get rid of the 20s and 30s and give us back to the 40s to start tomorrow. So still jacket-worthy, for sure.
40s, yeah.
But we'll take it. Baby steps. All right, so temperatures right now are falling back into the 40s. So again, it is still cold outside. 45 in Ocala, we're at 45 in Denellen. Mount Dora, good evening. We are at 47. Orlando, we're back to the lower 50s. Melbourne, still hanging around 60 degrees tonight. Again, when you wake up tomorrow, again, you still want the jacket, maybe the hoodie out there tomorrow, walking the dog early, getting ready for work or school. But we do rebound nicely. Mid-60s by 10, low to mid-70s by the early afternoon. That's right back to where we should be for this time of the year. The breeze also working on backing off. It is still gusty along the coast. Cocoa Beach just gusted to 26 miles per hour. 17 at the Orlando International Airport. Kissimmee, good evening. Still breezy for us too. Gradually, we're going to watch these winds come down. And then tomorrow start to shift a little bit to a southerly component to start pumping in some of that warmth as we really build on the warm-up through the end of this work week and into the weekend. We're going to talk much more about that part of your forecast coming up at about 10:19, Matt.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, outrage in Volusia County tonight after police in DeLand say this guy right here was caught choking a child at the bus stop this morning. Did not go well for this guy who was beaten with a toolbox by a witness coming to that boy's aid. Happened this morning around 8:15 on Clear Lake Drive and North Spring Garden Avenue. News 6's Ashley Garrett is in the neighborhood.
And we've also learned the name of that suspect. I'm actually going to step out of the way of the camera so you can see exactly where that incident happened, right behind me there, and I'll walk you through the case. According to DeLand police, 36-year-old Christopher Schwabel is accused of aggravated child abuse and ag assault. Police say the reported attack happened just before 8:30 Tuesday morning at a bus stop in DeLand at Clear Lake Drive and North Spring Garden Avenue. According to police, the reported attack led to a confrontation involving another man who just so happened to be in the area at the time. Well, that person is said to have known the child who was allegedly hurt. We're learning during the incident, the second man approached Schwabel asking him what he was doing. We got a chance to speak with a man who also says he lives in the area, and he says he would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I would have probably done a little more damage to him.
That same man says regardless the incident that happened Tuesday, he still feels safe. We're also getting word from the Volusia County Public School System. They say student safety is a priority. They acknowledge the incident happened off school grounds while also saying they're working with police as part of the DeLand PD case. When it comes to that case, police say Schwabel at some point around the time of having the child in the headlock pulled a knife, which police say apparently led to a physical altercation with the second man on the scene. Police say the altercation led to Schwabel being hit in the head and bleeding, which eventually led to Schwabel needing medical assistance. Well, once he received that medical assistance on the scene and he was cleared, he was then transported to the Volusia County Branch Jail. In Volusia County, Ashley Garrett, WKMG News 6.
New at 10 tonight, Marion County deputies say a man who trains horses for a living is facing charges after punching a horse and kicking it in the stomach at least 4 times. Here's some video the sheriff's office posted today on Facebook. The arrest itself happened on Friday. That's deputies taking 34-year-old Benito Coto Colon into custody for animal cruelty. Late last week, the horse's owner told deputies she had video of the attack on her Bay Paso Fino horse, and she says she hired the man to care for it about 1.5 years ago. Deputies say he posted a confession on Facebook saying the horse had thrown him off before the video was taken. He is now in jail. The horse is doing okay. Now at 10 tonight, new details about a day-long crime scene investigation. News 6 was out in Paramore all day as the Orlando police searched for evidence alongside members of the Florida Gulf Coast University Human Identity and Trauma Analysis Team. That's a mouthful, while OPD is staying silent about what, if anything, they found that's important. So News 6 has confirmed this is the same house where a 32-year-old woman was last seen alive in November of last year. Missing persons investigation into the disappearance of Robertine Salfranc started around December 18th. The house is over here. It's the 700 block just south of Lee Avenue, southwest of where I-4 and the 408 meet. Neighbors tell us the search there started before 10 this morning. When we first arrived, crews were working inside the house to take pictures. The teams were also using yellow and pink evidence flags to focus on where they've been digging and where they want to. One neighbor, who's a UCF student, said he did not want to come outside because the police presence was so heavy.
I actually live right down the street. I don't know what's going on. This is actually super surprising. Yellow tape. I did not think I'd ever see yellow tape around this house.
We'll keep you posted online and on air as OPD gives us updates. Also in Orange County tonight, a tragic update to our breaking news this time last night. A deadly stabbing that shut down Lee Road just a few blocks west of I-4. Deputies say a licensed mental health counselor and another man were stabbed at her office by a former client. The counselor died at the hospital. News 6's Tylisa Hampton spoke with a patient who came to the scene hoping it wasn't true.
It's an unimaginable loss.
Emotionally, I think that's a hole that's never going to be filled.
I can see your eyes getting watery right now. Can you tell me, what are you thinking? What are you feeling?
I'm trying to think about what to do for the rest of the day.
Monday night, a swarm of patrol cars flooded Lee Road near Addison Street with caution tape around this building. Those living around the corner still shaken.
It's horrific.
Orange County Sheriff's Office says 44-year-old Rebecca White, a licensed mental health counselor, died after being stabbed multiple times at her office when she was confronted by her former client, Michael Smith. The second victim, a man in his 30s, is in critical condition. He told police he had just finished with his therapy session and was stabbed trying to call 911. Hours after the stabbing the next morning, authorities say deputies found Smith's body about 30 minutes away from the scene on Windy Ridge Road, believing he died by suicide.
Nothing but a tragic story in many, many different ways.
For Patrick Floto, he left work to drive here, where he says Rebecca had been his therapist for 3 years.
Just had to make sure it's not true, but it is.
Patrick says he had just spoke to Rebecca about scheduling a session for this afternoon.
What will you miss about Rebecca?
And she will actually make your goals. She'll clarify your goals, and she'll hold you to the boundaries that you set for yourself.
He says Rebecca was someone who brought out the best in everyone.
I think the world is a worse place without Rebecca in it.
Patrick says Rebecca is irreplaceable, and again, she will be dearly missed. We're still working to find out more details in this investigation, and once we do, we'll make sure to update you. Reporting for News 6 in Orange County, I'm Tylisa Hampton.
Also new at 10 tonight, some of the strictest e-bike restrictions could be coming to a corner of Volusia County, and it might impact students who ride the electric bikes to school. Deltona City leaders unanimously voted in favor of the new rules during a first reading, but asked staff to fine-tune the language before they take a final vote. The ordinance, as written, would ban anyone under 16 years old from riding an e-bike, though one commissioner wants that raised to anybody under 18. Speeds would be capped at 15 miles per hour, and it prohibits teens from riding on sidewalks if a bike lane is available. High-powered e-bikes, those over 750 watts, would be banned from sidewalks entirely. Riders would also have to stop for school buses, just like a driver would. Deltona City staff were asked to make sure the language does not violate the Americans with Disabilities Act. No word yet on when the second and final vote will happen. Well, a thrilling announcement from Universal. Just announced it's replacing a high-speed outdoor roller coaster that was themed toward Hollywood. It might have jostled you around in the past. High-speed outdoor coaster is coming, and there's a fast and furious twist you may not want to miss. Plus, cracking down on noise in nature, how one local county is bringing peace back to a place that's become a party zone.
How safe are the online platforms that connect you with professionals? A Central Florida couple lost thousands, and they're not the only ones. And an alert from the Better Business Bureau. I'm investigator Lewis Bold, and our investigation coming up.
You're watching News 6 at 10 on a Tuesday night. We're covering Intercession City, Kissimmee, and all of Central Florida. This portion of the news is sponsored by Central Florida Honda Dealers. Well, now on News 6, how safe are those online platforms that connect you with professionals? Back in October, we told you about a Lake County handyman, Chad Heasley, who ran off with an elderly woman's money and now has a warrant out for his arrest. A Winter Garden woman saw that report, contacted News 6, saying she and her husband had the very same issue with that very same handyman. Both of them found him on the same website, too. It's called Angie, which used to be Angie's List. News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden has the update.
What did you want done?
This was all white, old, and moldy.
When Tracy Griffin and her husband needed new siding and a roof repair on their Winter Garden home, they turned to the website Angie for help.
Angie says that they stand behind their contractors and they vet their contractors.
Griffin was matched with a company called QC Painting Incorporated. They signed this contract with the owner, Chad Heasley, and gave 2 deposits, one for $2,000, another for $3,000, according to bank statements, but he never showed up.
We gave this man money, expecting him to show up to side our house, and he didn't. After $5,000.
Griffin says she and her husband filed a complaint with Angie that went nowhere.
We said, we want our money back, and they said, no. And then it was about a 6-month period where finally they're like, nope, go pursue other avenues.
But News 6 found during that time, according to reviews now posted on Angie, Heasley was allegedly doing the same thing to other people. One person says he took her for $11,000. Another says she made 2 deposits, $2,500 and almost $6,000, and never heard from him again.
So I think that Angie should pay us back the $5,000 because we went with this guy based on Angie's recommendation.
QC Painting is now listed as under review on Angie's site and not Angie approved. But News 6 uncovered, after the Griffins experience, Chad Heasley, seen here in surveillance video, started another company, Florida Priority Home Solutions, and advertised on Angie.
He told me Angie was his reference.
Back in October, we told you how Irene Simon lost $2,500 to Heasley under the new company name.
So he just took the money and ran.
He took the money and left.
News 6 did some digging and found the Better Business Bureau in Indiana has issued an alert about Angie.
Have you had any complaints where consumers paid a handyman and they ran off with their money?
Yes, we've had complaints related to consumers using Angie to find professionals that then take the money for the work and then do not do the work.
An Angie spokesperson sent News 6 a statement reading in part, "We're always disheartened when a homeowner has an issue with a pro. In each of these scenarios, the pro was removed from our network within a week of the complaint date and was no longer able to match with homeowners on our platform." We tried reaching out to Heasley but got no response. Lewis Bolden, News 6.
Visitors say what should be a peaceful escape at a popular spring has turned into a party zone, but soon that could be a thing of the past. This morning, Lake County leaders unanimously approved a new noise ordinance at Silver Glen Springs. It designates the area as a noise-sensitive zone and creates penalties for people who disobey that. People at the spring seem to agree with the new ordinance.
This isn't the place to party.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of party. We party with the manatees.
It's too crazy out here, and no one has any respect for the water, any of the wildlife.
Who wouldn't want to party with manatees? County leaders say they plan to put up signage explaining the new rules. This ordinance is similar to the one approved for the Lake Dora Sandbar, where people complained about loud music coming from the boats there, too. Tonight, Universal Studios Florida drifting into the future of thrill rides. Today, the theme park announced it's replacing the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket with another outdoor, high-octane Hollywood-themed roller coaster. Rip Ride Rocket was quickly torn down after it closed last August. Construction's already well underway on its replacement. The Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift was announced today, and it's being built on roughly the same plot of land right near the park's entrance. It's expected to be pretty similar to the Fast and the Furious coaster opening this year at Universal Hollywood. Both coasters will simulate the thrills of drift racing with spinning coaster cars that change direction. Florida's version will take thrill seekers 170 feet high. When it opens next year, Universal Studios Florida will say goodbye to its existing Fast and the Furious supercharged attraction. One of my least favorite, by the way. It has been shuttling guests on a party bus since 2018. Universal has not announced a replacement for supercharged just yet. Jonathan Kagas joins me now for a look at your weather. You ever been on the Fast and the Furious supercharged?
I've never been on that one before.
Kind of a lame ride. It needs to be replaced.
That one looks like it's going to be upgraded.
Yeah, I think it's going to be much better
Keep the
now.
Dramamine ready.
And some good temperatures for a weekend at the parks.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are moving on up. Temperatures are already on still the cooler side, but certainly not as cold as we've been over the past several nights. We're still hanging around 50 in Sanford. Jacket worthy in Orlando still, but certainly, again, nothing compared to where we've been. Lower 60s in Cocoa Beach. We're at 45 in Ocala, 43 degrees in Denellen. Here's a live look outside Daytona Beach. Skycam still rocking a little bit. We still have that breeze out there. We'll keep that through parts of the overnight. Air temperatures right now at the beach in the low 50s under a clear sky. The breeze out of the north at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Every now and then we're gusting a little bit higher than that, hence the shaking of the Skycam. A little chilly in Ocala and Denellen. Tomorrow we're back to the upper 30s, 41 in the Villages. We're at 49 in Orlando. Seasonably cold tomorrow when you wake up. So again, we're certainly warmer, but still on the chilly side. High temperatures tomorrow afternoon, back in the low to mid 70s. So we are certainly moving on up, average in the low 70s. So we are pretty much right where we should be for this time of the year. Big battle taking shape in our atmosphere, and that's going to create a really big storm across the mid-south and the deep south. We'll see some rain from it on Sunday, just a little bit anyway, but a major storm taking shape, and that's because we have a lot of cold air. See all that purple hanging up on the Hudson Bay? But our friend, that nice chunk of high pressure building through the Caribbean, is going to help to force some of that cold back up north, at least for the short term as we go through the start of the weekend. There's Saturday at 5 o'clock. High pressure builds through the Caribbean, keeps at least the Arctic cold at bay for now. This little appendage, though, swings to the south and west and brings us some of that chill by the time we get into the early part of next week. But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, nice and warm. Once we get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, we're going to fall back to below normal in the temperature department. It's all because of this guy here. Big developing snow and ice storm across the mid and deep south. That's going to be Sunday morning. All the pink representing the ice accumulation, the blue representing some very, very heavy snow. That, of course, all stays to our north, but you see a little bit of green popping back up. That's going to be lunchtime on Monday. The opportunity Sunday into Monday for a few scattered downpours as another cold front slides through, and that will deliver us some, relatively speaking, colder air. At this point, I don't think it matches what we just went through, but it will get chilly again. You see, by the time we get into Monday and Tuesday of next week, we're going to fall back into the 30s and 40s. Highs will struggle to climb out of the 50s. We'll be right back.
Three threats in 5 days, but one major concern. They're all fake.
It takes me back to that very day, right? It's like pulling a scab off of a wound that is trying to heal.
In 2019, Rico Sharp's son was in high school at Lake Mary when he got an alert. It was locked down for shooting.
I just really went numb. I'm like, this can't be happening not here, not now.
A 17-year-old had taken her life. While Rico's son and the remaining students survived, he still can't shake the familiar pit in his stomach when he sees headlines like these.
To experience the terror and the fear that ran through my body.
Look at this, January 8th, 9th, and 12th. What do all these days have in common? Parents left scrambling, trying to get to their kids in lockdown because of what they thought was a looming threat.
They think it's funny. It's not funny at all. You have to treat each one as if it's a real call.
At Lake Brantley High, a tip about a potential threat forced to code red. A day later, and also in Seminole County, this eerie video of a masked figure threatening area schools, prompting immediate lockdowns. Then in 72 hours, Lake Minneola got a bomb threat.
Know what your kids are doing on the internet.
Flagler County not impacted this time, but the sheriff is no stranger to threats and says a single swatting call can cost upwards of $10,000 between the overwhelming police response and the subsequent investigation.
Knock it off.
But data points beyond the dollars, proving that fake school threats can have harmful, long-term ripple effects, like eroding public trust while traumatizing communities, prompting harsh warnings.
Where there is smoke, there will potentially be fire.
You're going to get handcuffs on. You're going to get fingerprinted. Your mug shot's going to be taken. You're held accountable.
Lauren Melendez, News 6.
You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus. We'll see you at 11 o'clock.